Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsInTheD.com. It's Mike and Jay. Big E is here. Shalom, Big E. King, you look nice today. What's going on?
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be with you, Mike. Thank you for having me. First off,
Have no other way.
I am dressed commensurate with my event later in the day. I will be attending an award ceremony.
Well.
Yeah, not an award for me.
Yeah.
An award for the one and only Big E.
Oh, his award ceremony is tonight. For his Volunteer of the
That's
Year by SOS.
South Oakland Shelter is giving Big E the Volunteer of the Year award, and I will not miss it.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're the guest of honor, E. I mean, this is a big deal for you.
There are other people getting awards. I don't think, like...
Yeah, but Volunteer
of the Year? I mean,
Yeah.
only one person's getting that.
That's true. That's true.
So how long is your speech?
I don't know exactly. I mean, I don't exactly have anything worded out or anything. No bullet points.
You better have a speech, okay? You are not walking up
I
there
wanna
just
talk,
accepting.
trust me.
No, it's not. I want to talk. You will talk. Okay.
Yes.
Even if the other award recipients, if the program is such that you just walk up and grab it and take a
Yeah.
quick photo and leave. No, you're going to demand to talk.
And Jay, you've got to help this along. If it looks like it's on shaky ground, I want you in the background. Speech.
Absolutely.
Speech!
Don't worry. Me and El Prez are going.
Yeah.
We will do that.
I've got to attend a viewing for Beth's grandma today. So
I
I'm not,
get it. You'd rather see a dead grandma than
Yeah.
get an award.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so I'm not going to be there to be able to help, offset.
Speech!
Speech!
Speech! You son of a bitch!
Speech, you son of a bitch! There's only one Volunteer of the Year. Speech!
Seriously.
God damn it, speech!
Demand a speech.
I mean, I
Demand
do
a
want
microphone.
to. I do want to talk.
And then-
Well, I don't need a microphone. My
Claw
voice
your
is-
way to the podium.
I think I have a loud enough speaking voice that I don't think that I need a microphone.
I think you
but
can play it humbly, though. You could be like, I don't know. I mean, they're demanding a speech, guys. I don't know. I mean, the fans are demanding a speech. I should probably just say something.
I don't
They're
want to
not
slow
gonna
your
stop.
program down, but obviously they want this.
Clearly, I mean, the crowd is clamoring for it. So why don't we just make this easy? I'll get up there, give 15-minute speech really quick, and then we'll move on.
15 minutes,
Let's remember, you're standing in a church. Let's try not to swear. Not the end of the world if you do, but
Right.
try not to.
Yeah, I haven't really.
And probably don't just make it an opportunity to tell everybody in high school to fuck off. Maybe
Yeah.
go above that.
Don't
I
just
know.
scream San Dimas High football rules.
San Dimas High football rules!
I
can't
know.
do
I
that.
haven't really thought about it, to be honest with you. I mean, I've thought about the fact that I'm going to say something.
All right,
but-
why don't you go stand over there really quick, and we'll just dry run really quick. I think it's only fair.
These dry run things
you
you do
just
are
stand over by
Stand
the
over
door.
there. I'll announce it, and then as you're going up just to grab your award,
Where am I supposed to walk to?
just you'll hear the announcement of your name, and then you can you get me some celebratory music?
Yeah,
really
can you
quick?
first put on the Bulls music, the announcement music? Dun, 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 dun,
Is
dun,
that what
dun.
you want? Or?
Yeah.
And
That's fine.
now, the Volunteer of the Year!
Yeah. And then E, it's on you because you didn't prepare a speech. Now, if you'd prepared a speech, we wouldn't have to do this.
Yeah.
But and then Jay, we're gonna have to practice. I'll play El Prez unless you want to play El Prez, and I can play you.
I'll play me.
Okay, I'll play El Prez, and we don't want to yell speech together at the same time. We got to go back and forth.
So it sounds like a crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Okay.
gosh.
Okay, E, get the music
No,
going.
there
and then take
this
your
is
position.
they're not gonna have like Scottie Pippen.
I don't think. Well, you can.
Of course it will. Of course this will be the wrong music.
Okay.
Of course you plan none of this, E. Way to go.
What do you mean?
Just hit it, E. Go over there and stand in the corner in waiting.
God, this is so dumb, dude. Where am I gonna yell?
So the lights are off now.
Ladies and gentlemen, now presenting our top award of the evening, Volunteer of the Year, Eric Fady!
Son of a bitch!
Oh!
Get up there, you son of a bitch! Speech!
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 Mr. Fady, here's your award. Congratulations, son.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Speech!
Well, I didn't. This is embarrassing. I didn't really want to. I didn't want to up here.
Into the mic, you son of a bitch!
Speech into the mic!
I'm not here to sell myself up for I did this all for the homeless people, but I do have a few thoughts I thought I'd give here.
Into the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't hear whether I'm in the mic or not.
We can't hear you in the back. Speak up, you moron.
Hey!
Nice outfit, asshole!
Oh, I'm dressed up.
Hi, Mrs. Fady.
Well, anyway, guys, I just want to give
Eat your hat. Eat your hat.
guys,
Eat your hat.
Guys, settle down here. I'm trying to give a speech. What do you want me to do here?
Speech would be nice at the point where you're giving the speech.
You're yelling.
Probably
every time I
insert
start
a
talking, you
speech.
start yelling.
Yeah, but the crowd's getting wild. You got to tame the crowd and get on with your speech. Tell people to pipe
See,
down.
I'm glad we did this because when the crowd goes wild, you're going to have to deal with it, man. On your feet. You're going to have to think on your feet.
Yeah, you got to be able to corral the room and get them on your side. And there's going to be more than just Jay and El Prez there.
Tonight, you can't freeze up like you're freezing up right now,
I'm
man.
not
There could
freezing
be
up.
dozens of people screaming speech.
Speech!
People would be respectful.
Call for
of that.
security to throw these knuckleheads out of
You
here.
got to have a plan.
I'm not
Come
gonna-
on.
One more word out of this crowd over here, and I'll have security throw you out. I'm the volunteer of the year, and I can demand that. And then we'd be like, oh, shit. All right.
I don't think that's. Well, I mean, I don't think it's gonna get to that.
Speech!
Okay,
We don't have all night!
Okay, thank you everybody for this award. I appreciate it. I felt like I helped the homeless out here a little bit.
Who are you?
How did you help the homeless exactly?
Well, I came out with a lot of knowledge of helping out these people and giving them money.
What do you mean by these people?
Anyway, thank you so much.
More speech!
Way more speech from the homelessophobe.
I don't know what to say.
What did you do to raise the money?
Did you drink piss? What did you do?
Did you poop on a driveway?
Did you beg strangers like a homeless guy would?
I would like to do that. That is one of my goals. I would love it if I could sit up there and be like, because there are some other people getting awards or like getting something, and I would like to sit up there. Some of these, I'm a better volunteer than any of these people here. These fat cats just wrote paychecks off the company dime, which got wrote off.
They wrote paycheck. Why would someone write a paycheck to a volunteer group?
They wrote,
That makes no sense!
They're non-profit.
What are you even talking
It's
about?
Wait, is it a 501c or a 401c?
501c!
I don't have to
They
put up
don't
with
get
this, okay?
paychecks.
This is bullshit. I'm not even allowed to give the speech. I don't even know what to say now. Thank you.
Wow.
Very unprepared.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I hope it's not a strong heckling group there tonight. That's all I can say.
He's going to freeze up.
Yeah, he is not a pro-period speech giver. That is for sure.
Well, regardless, I will have it on tape, so.
Very good.
Hey, I want to say, by the way, while we are talking about that, you can remember I am doing the Dancing with the Detroit Stars as well, and you can go to the DetroitCast.com to the events page, and there's a link there for to donate money to the SOS and my dancing.
Have
cause.
people been donating?
There's a few. I mean, and I haven't started to hit it really hard. My thought is that honestly, it's still like
Still
2
ways
months
off, right?
It's 2 months away, so I don't really want to start like just hammering people every day. I think when October hits and we get like more towards a month out,
You'll start eating your hat.
yeah, maybe, or
Yeah.
Facebook. I don't know, Facebook Live videos or whatever. I mean, I'll try to bug people more, but just it is out there and it is on the DetroitCast.com under the events page. A link to go raise money for to help raise money and awareness for the homeless. As I'm continuing my Dancing with the Stars thing
Up
until November 18th.
Up against Jimmy King, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would keep tabs on King, and then there was that.
Well, he so
that-
far has nothing.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah.
two
But you
phone
know what I
calls
mean,
away
right?
from
That's the
blowing
thing
you
about
up.
him. That's the
Yeah.
thing about him. Like I know, like that's
He knows the the other Fab
right.
Four.
My
you know,
feeling
in
is
his
that
Fab
it's going to be
Five.
zero until like a week before, and then also boom, 50,000 or some
Yeah.
Get that
shit.
Jalen Rose check.
Exactly.
Falling in there.
Right.
Which is why you should start gunning now. You should. Really
I
start
know.
hammering it
I know.
now.
I'm trying to decide how to go about it. I don't really because without the live stream is what would made that thing so honestly so
Maybe the
incredible
backing,
back
maybe
in the
the
day.
backing of Jay and Mike helped too. I don't
Yeah,
know.
a little bit. Mike Lindell, perhaps.
Well, yeah, some sponsors obviously and
God,
whatnot.
I can't believe you went through that entire speech and didn't thank Mike Lindell for his generous offering, the support of my team at the Detroit Cast.
Yeah.
None of this would have been possible without them. It's an honor to be Volunteer of the Year, but certainly a lot of people made that possible, the listeners of our great show.
Including Jay, who's in the crowd.
In the crowd.
Jay,
Stand up, Jay.
Stand up,
Stand
Jay.
up.
Why don't you come up here and
Yeah.
say a few
I'm
words?
definitely not having that happen. Are you
Come
kidding?
on.
He
You're
brings
not,
Jay
you're not
and
getting
Jay
into
just
my
delivers
spotlight.
this amazing speech. Like, he should be Volunteer of the Year. Way
They're
better
gonna
speaker.
take it away from him and give it to me.
Sorry, we handed this to the wrong guy.
Dare you?
Oh, God. You should bring Jay up on stage. That would be hilarious.
It would be funny, but I'm not going to do it because I don't.
It's all about you,
Very few times in my life do I get to have the spotlight on me. And
That's true. I won't take that from him.
Yeah, but, room full of people, opportunity to make the Detroit Cast shine. Who would do better at that?
Well,
Jay or E?
well,
I don't know. Coin toss probably, but
I'm willing, E. I'm willing to help if you need it.
well, some random dude in the crowd or the dude who was volunteer of the year. Who? Yeah, right. Who would be a better?
I don't know, the mastermind behind the volunteer of the year? Or...
So but I'm just saying that's an option. It's kind of like going to the Moop if you run into trouble. Like if you freeze on stage tonight, don't just pull out the Moop and start spraying beer all over everybody, but just go, hey, I'd like to give it up for Jay. Jay, get up here and say a few words. That's all you got to remember.
I'm in your back pocket.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Hey, does your money work as hard as you do? You will spend upwards of 45 years working to support your lifestyle, provide for your family, and set aside money for retirement. Let Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial help to make sure your money's working as hard as you are. Call today. Tell him you're a friend of the show for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. 248-626-2000. Ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
And anyone going Saturday, if they want to say hello to Merck, let me know because he'll be there and we'll pull him aside and introduce you.
Absolutely. Lot to get to today. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we all have some grievances to air.
Oh, we do.
We might be able to do those right out of the gate, actually. Also, isn't it today, is today History Day?
Oh, yes.
We going to learn something special today?
Sure,
Are we going to allow him through the break to finally prepare? Or should we hit him with it now?
No.
You need till the breaky?
Because we did just require him to think on his feet for a moment there. He might be overloaded.
Yeah, that's true.
I
See
mean,
some steam coming out of ears.
We can wait. We can do it later. We can do grievances right out of the gate, though.
We could.
You want to do that?
You've been sitting on one, Mike, for a while.
I've got one. I don't, whether it's a strong grievance or not, I don't know. It doesn't, whatever. It is what it is. I find it to be a grievance, and that's really all that matters. But I would understand if people didn't, either way.
Well,
I think I have two. Well, I guess we
yeah.
can do
You just thought of one, didn't you?
Well, no. I literally do have two, and I know. I guess we can.
That's Mike
I don't know if I'll
sandbagged
remember
his
the
grievance.
other ones, but that should.
Nah, I'm
be.
not sandbagging.
Well, for any new listeners, allow me to state the rules of airing of grievances. They're simple. The purported aggrieved individual shall have 30 seconds in which to state his alleged grievance. At the conclusion of said time period, the remaining members of the Detroit Cast shall pass judgment. The grievant shall be judged to have asserted a bona fide grievance. Hopefully that's what you do.
Yep.
Or they're simply being a pussy and/or an old man.
Yeah. Or stolen grievance has slipped in there at time to time as well. All right. I think I got this. You ready?
I guess that requires me to hit the clock.
Probably. All right. My grievance is with two parties, the maker of and the consumers who purchase for their establishment one-ply toilet paper. Who are these people that think they're saving money by supplying one-ply toilet paper in their bathrooms at their establishments? We fold it over like 8 times, so it just completely defeats the purpose of having one ply. You're not saving any money. You're just making me hate you. I didn't know that it was strong. It was just what is what it is.
Yeah, I guess the point of your final point is true, that everybody's just folding it over 8 times and they're not saving money. That's
right.
That's a really strong point. I thought it was just going to be like, one ply sucks. Why are you doing it, business owner? Yeah,
I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna have.
Yeah, no, you came to a very reasonable, good conclusion there. So I'm gonna render that bona fide.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
because they are thinking, they're looking at the bottom line. They're going, what are my supplies?
Yes.
Where can I save? Okay, I'm going to knock off $20 a month on the toilet paper. I'm going to save there. When in fact they're not, for the reason you just stated.
They get
bona fide grievance.
They get that huge roll of sandpaper, and then it's like, oh, okay, I guess I just got to roll this stuff around my hand 40, 50 times first.
But let me understand. Is your grievance that the business owner thinks they're pulling one over on you, or is it that you're having to use one ply and fold it over 8 times?
No, my grievance is it sucks, first off. It's not a good toilet paper.
It's not a quality product.
It's not quality. But they think they're pulling wool and saving money, when in reality they're not even close to saving money, because people fold it over way more times than 2-ply would be.
So your grievance is that you think the business owner is pulling one over, and they're not.
I think they're being cheap, and I want them to knock it off. Stop thinking you're saving a buck at every turn. Spring for the good shit. I don't care, Charmin, whatever. Cottonelle is fine sometimes.
This is less of a grievance now that you've restated it and more of an FYI.
No, it's a grievance because I get irritated when I go in there and I'm like, fuck, this toilet paper blows. I don't want to use this.
Okay. Well,
So I am aggrieved.
you're aggrieved to the extent that you are suffering through one ply because
Yeah.
it's not the most comfortable toilet paper.
No.
Okay, I want that to be more of the focus.
But we're getting a lot of past the 30 seconds
Yeah,
here,
we
to
are.
be honest with
I
you.
helped him with that one.
Yeah, you allowed with some follow-up, but I appreciate that. The other thing they're doing, I don't know if you've noticed this,
Bona fide grievance.
they're going thinner.
Oh, the width of said roll.
The width of a roll of toilet paper has long been established. Don't start
What is the
fucking
standard width,
inching
and
in.
why has it been established as
I have
such?
no idea.
It's probably the
Because
width
of
is
the-
probably the perfect size of the widest butthole in the world. I can only assume that's how they came up with that
Dude,
figure.
honestly, that's really interesting. And then the manufacturers of the toilet paper rolls follow suit, you know?
Of course.
Of the rollers in the bathroom I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
That's very interesting. I wonder who established it. It had to be the Charmin people, right?
I don't know. Good question. Could have been the
Was that-
Scott people.
It could have been the Scots or the Charmins.
Yeah.
One of those had to be at the forefront.
See if it's the widest butthole known to man.
When you talk about revolutions in the toilet paper industry, I think
Yeah.
Scott, I think Charmin.
Yeah, absolutely. Cottonelle. I'm not a fan of the Cottonelle family. Their shit flakes a little bit.
Does it really?
Yeah, and it can do that thing where it sticks to your butthole area if you wipe on there. That's just my experience with Cottonelle.
You apparently are a connoisseur of toilet paper. I
bit.
honestly, I guess given my situation with Paul constantly buying my family paper products, I don't think about what brand.
What
And
is
I'm
he-
constantly using different brands. I have no idea what they are.
Really?
Yeah.
What is his most?
Sale, dude. He goes for the sale.
So which one is usually on sale the most?
I don't know. It varies. We have all sorts of paper products out in my garage.
Yeah. Don't squeeze the Charmin is big. I'm trying to think. I think Cottonelle's the one I'm thinking
Isn't there
of.
like a
flakes.
Kirkland brand too?
Yeah.
There's Kirkland
Oh, yeah.
everything.
Kirkland
Dude,
everything.
I heard there was Kirkland beer. Leroy was telling
Really?
me the other day. He drank like a case of Kirkland beer.
It's probably just like Miller. That
Exactly.
they've just. I think
Just
that's
thrown
what
in a
they
different
do.
bottle.
Yeah.
Jesus, who invented the width of the toilet paper? Did you Bing it?
I mean, I don't
Sounds
know
like a
what
very bingable thing.
No, it doesn't.
What is the width of a roll of toilet paper? 4 1/2 inches. Yeah, if you go, I mean, look, if you go like this and divide it by 8. Yeah,
Or
that's.
multiply by 2, actually. 4.5 divided by.
I'm dividing. I'm reverse engineering.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
dividing this by 8.
I
Yeah, you're
gotcha.
right. You're about 4.5.
Okay.
The sheet to 4 inches with a width of 4.5.
So it's a nice 4.5 by 4.5 square. But why? Why? How did we get to that size? Why not 5? Why not 4? What was that extra half inch for?
Right.
Who made that call? That, you know what? This is nice, but we need another half inch on either side.
Think of what a decision that was for the industry. When you talk about products and you're talking about stuff that they're now putting on a roll, you take off a half inch of that. That's a lot of cost save.
Oh,
you know?
it probably. I was just going to say it probably has to do with like how many can we get in a case and then ship in bulk.
Yeah.
It probably comes down to something like that.
But it really is at this point just an expectation of what a toilet paper roll looks like.
Yeah.
Because you immediately noticed when they went.
Oh,
when they-
yeah.
When they reduced the width.
When I like folded it over and it was the same and it was like, why are my fingers sticking out on either side of this fucking wad of paper? This isn't right. This just isn't right.
I'm thinking about Mike's dirty butthole right now.
Get in there. Well, it's something we all have to do, guys. You've all been there. You did not render this one way or the other. What are you going
I
to
don't
say?
know what to think. I don't even know what the grievance really is.
Well, that's why I had to talk it through. You know what it is now, right?
Yeah, don't try to
guess.
steal Jay's reasonable question, which is what
even
you did
after
there.
all that, I still don't really get it. I'm just gonna say pussy and old man, dude. Like, just deal with it, I guess.
Fine.
What-
If you just want to do
doesn't
that every
cost you
time, no
any
matter
money.
what I say, you just want that's fine, E. That's
Well, it's
your
not
right.
bona fide. I don't.
You're right.
I don't get what it's about.
Here's a reasonable response to this. If you're taking a shit out in public, I mean, that's kind of your problem. In my
I
view.
knew you were going to say that. I'm shocked it took you
Because-
this long to say it.
Because,
I was
dude,
thinking it.
you got to plan that shit before you leave the house. Think, is there a chance that I got to shit
Okay,
here? If
well-
so, I
well-
got to squeeze one out.
All right, so why don't since you guys don't have a problem and you guys have worked this out, you're probably a 7:02 every morning, Jay, on the dot. 7:02, I need to be in my
I
bathroom.
do lay some healthy cable at about
Yeah.
7:20.
Very consistent. So I'm just going to throw those giant 1-ply rolls up in both of your bathrooms, and we'll just see. You know, it's cool. Whatever.
No,
you
I
guys occasionally have to use it here, so.
But my point is, I typically do at home before I leave. So if you're out and when you're going out, man. I mean, especially you. It's rare.
It
You know,
is.
It's like next Thursday I'm leaving to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you know that, you can probably plan your poop in advance.
Yeah, no.
Thus avoiding the
it's
1-ply.
Dude, we had this discussion about, what could be self-diagnosed. We don't know. You may have diagnosed it. My tetanus, that shot that I never got, that I probably should have when I tore my hand open.
Yeah.
And so I've, since about 4th grade, I've had nothing but extremely explosive diarrhea, unannounced at all
You ever
times in
think
my
about
life.
taking your own paper?
I
Roll
have.
some up,
yeah.
just keep it in your back pocket.
And so it's very common for me, every hour on the hour or so to, I got to duck in here and use this bathroom. So,
okay,
it is what it
let's
is.
assume that to be true. E, you're still old man pussy?
I don't know.
Oh, go ahead, E. That's fine. I can handle it.
I'm not even gonna. No, it's not old man, but I think it's pussy. I just think who cares?
Okay. Very good.
Maybe it's not old man. But
E, why don't you do your
I have
grievance now?
two.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, this
Go
would
ahead.
be great.
Pussy old man! Wait, go ahead, E.
No,
Sorry.
that should be restarted. That's bullshit.
Okay, I can do that. Ready?
Okay, sure. I guess with the
Pussy
these
old man!
these commercials, the fake back and forth where there's a conversation with with actors and I didn't realize Geico saved this money and so it's like, can we really not just have a commercial where a guy just says, hey, states whatever the business is, states what they're selling. I do not want to go to companies. It puts me off of people that have these fake conversations in commercials. I just think it's so dumb.
Everything in marketing has already been done. That's the problem.
Yeah, so you're saying this is stolen?
I'm not saying it's stolen because it has crossed my mind recently with, I think, like an auto supply company. I've heard recently, like on the ticket. And it's this guy who calls and he's like, hey, do you have the oil for a Ford Taurus? This and that. And they're like, yeah, we actually do. It's 1040, this and that.
Yeah.
And 10W40. And I'm going, this is stupid.
That's a spray,
this
isn't
really,
it? 10W40?
Yeah, spray.
Oh, that's WD-40.
W,
Wait, okay.
yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah. But it has occurred to me, E, how goofy and out there that seemed as I'm listening to these two people exchange.
Is this the first time you're coming to the realization that corny actors in commercials are a thing? Because I would think that you would have noticed that long ago.
But this particular one, man, it hit me. I don't know. So maybe it's bona fide. Maybe I'm at a point in my life where I just can't stand that shit anymore.
I don't watch that many commercials. I would agree, E. It's very true that they are annoying as shit, and they are constantly looking for a way to sell their product, try to seem natural, and make sure not to offend anybody ever. That's the point. I'm gonna tell you that you're pussy and an old man for sure, without question. But they are annoying. I just don't know. I mean, you want to overhaul the entire marketing industry?
Yes. I am so sick of especially TV commercials. And you're right, I very rarely watch TV at this point. It's been pretty much Netflix and on-demand programming.
Yeah.
But the times that I am watching it, I am so fucking sick of this. Not an actor, and it's a Chevy car. And like, there's one right now. I think if it's Chevy or Ford, I don't know what it's for, but the valet pulls up and they're like, "This isn't my car." He's like, "Well, give it a try." And it's, shut the fuck up, not an actor. It's so ridiculous.
Well, here's the thing, though. It
try.
grabbed your attention, and that's all they can hope for.
But my thing is, like, I
Some
would
of them
way
are
rather
purposely
have...
hacky
Remember?
like that.
Yeah, that's
I
why
know,
there's
but-
stupid jingles like that. O'Reilly Auto Parts, which I personally will never go to because of that jingle.
Yeah.
But that's what they're trying to do. They're just trying to worm their way into their brain.
I'm just for a
The
while...
only one you'll use is the 877 cars for kids.
Dude, I've grieved this before, at least bitched about it before, so I'm rendering it bona fide. This stuff drives me crazy, too.
I would render it stolen then if you've already bitched about this. I mean,
It's not been officially grieved about. Well, whatever. Here's the other... What was I going to...
It may have been.
Well, here's the other thing. Like, I don't understand. Like, honest to God, I just don't... I would rather have McDonald's have a radio commercial and McDonald's just came on, some voice actor, and he just said, hey, McDonald's, nationwide, whatever they want to say, and then say, hey, for this
Ray
week,
Kroc founded this shitty burger
well,
joint
for this,
50 years ago.
Hey, this is McDonald's. You guys, you see us. We have the Golden Arches. This week, it's 2 for $4 fish fillets.
How about this?
2 for $4 fish fillets.
How about
That's
this?
Pretty good
In
deal.
lieu of me boring you with
serious?
McDonald's details, I'm going to
Yeah.
send you back to the program that you want to listen to.
Oh, now that I would go.
Okay,
You know what?
that'd be great.
I'm going to McDonald's because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You could just go. I wish McDonald's would come out and just be like, "Hey, look, we're fast food. We're not healthy. We won't fill you up, but god damn it, do we taste good? Come on by. We got some great specials going on. Say hi to the clown and then wave goodbye. Back to your programming.
I wouldn't mind if it was. I wouldn't mind if it was verbally just a guy saying and say, hey. I wouldn't mind if he was literally like, you know what? I know there's a lot of fast food places out there. I think McDonald's is the best. We have a new
Not
sandwich.
even close.
No, but I get it. But we have a sandwich coming out, and it's better than Burger King, or something, and then or whatever, and it just ends there. Like this, it's just the fucking fake commercial. I get it. You're right. It's been happening forever, but it's
I know
so
you
dumb.
could say the same thing about network sitcoms. That they're so fake too that it's just irritating.
Well, it's funny
but-
to watch. If you ever, then less of them, luckily, more of them are going away from it. But if you ever watch, they do have things where you can watch like a Friends episode without the laugh track, and it's so ridiculous.
That
so
would be funny.
ridiculous. Because they
really
make
funny.
They
That's
make a,
really funny. A concept I've never heard of that.
right. Because they make a joke, and then it's like they're just sitting there for 3-4 seconds technically because they know there's this laugh is going to be there. And
Can you find an example of that, Eve?
I think so.
Because the laugh track is
That's
added
hilarious.
later, although they are taped in front of a studio audience,
Right.
right? So there's probably
Yeah.
producers flashing up signs
For sure.
laugh,
That's how it was at the
fucking
Roseanne
laugh
show.
hard, right?
Yeah. Some of those they actually do use the studio audience as their actual laughter. They probably mic that whole room, but Friends had an actual laugh track though, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Friends, no
Now,
laugh track.
granted, I have not looked at this ahead of time, but it says it's Friends with no laugh track. So
Okay.
I'm starving. It's a buffet, man.
see, there's where the laugh would be.
Yeah.
Here's where I win all my money back.
I gotta talk to you.
Sure. What's up?
Joey's just loading up a plate at a buffet.
And they're all laughing.
Normally, everybody would be dying laughing because it's a
Outrageous.
ridiculous amount of.
Potato
Monica
salad.
and I almost got married last night.
My
What?
God. That's huge. Hey.
Laugh.
This honestly makes me think they're better actors.
Yeah, I know,
Ready to
right?
get
You're right.
married yet, I mean, I love her and everything, but seeing Ross and Rachel come out of that chapel was like a wake-up
Miss
call.
Shenandler Bong is, of
Moving
course,
so
speaking right now.
Fast, and how do I tell her without crushing her?
Yeah, this is like a serious scene.
I know. I wish they would have chosen a. I just
Tell her
think
she's not marriage material.
Oh, huge laugh there.
Oh, that would have killed.
What?
Dude, this makes me feel they're absolutely the better actors.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is playing to the audience right now how funny this is.
I
but-
know. But there's more of this out there of other shows too, where you can see
That's
it and it's
true.
really ridiculous. Which is funny because I started talking. Me and my sister started talking when they finally The Office didn't have one, and I think that might have been one of the first that really
That's what
started
made that
to.
very different. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we started to notice, if you notice, dude, there has to be more jokes because there is no stoppage in play. And on some level, it's just a little bit more real, too, because there's no this just obvious break.
But that's what partly made that show so good is it
Yeah.
did have that realism because there was no laugh track and you
Yeah.
were cringing. Everybody's cringing together.
Yes. Didn't Seinfeld use an actual studio audience with laughter? I don't think they had an obnoxious laugh track.
I don't. You know what? I don't know how that works because you're right. Friends.
I thought Seinfeld did something different.
Well,
I
I'll
could be
tell you
wrong.
this: that they all, I think, filmed them with the hope that they would have natural laughter. I think there was just the things. I think they had to add things in because I do remember with Friends specifically one time when they had the announcement, when the
That's the crow fliesy!
when the episode happened where they revealed that Chandler and Monica were going to be together, and they came out of the bed. They said there was legitimately there was 45 seconds to 2 minutes or something where the crowd and the actual audience was holy shit or whatever. So I think they tried.
No, she didn't.
Right. I think they try to get laughter. So I don't know as far as Seinfeld. I don't.
Yeah.
Before we get to my grievance, our friends at Zott M59 Chrysler Jeep in White Lake are throwing an incredible Jeep celebration. Because of their tremendous volume and massive inventory, Zott Chrysler Jeep can give you deals better than anyone on the planet, or at least in the podcast world. Right now, lease a new 18 Jeep Compass 4-wheel drive at just $129 a month. Yes, A brand new Compass can be yours for just $129 a month. Surf their super duper deals and massive inventory at dealsinthed.com.
Hey, before your grievance, we should mention 22 and Hayes, Hamlin Pub, this Saturday starting about 5 o'clock. We're all going to be out there. Hopefully you can come join us. We're going to have trivia contest, Q&A session where you can ask us anything you want. He's going to do some stand-up. We've got some amazing prizes. You know, I mentioned Gabar was nice enough to give away a F-150 for a weekend. Thanks to Zotford for that. Some Wings tickets, I think, will be up for grabs at the new stadium.
Got some great stuff to give away.
Yeah.
Not just to the winners of the trivia per se, but people who are just there. We're going to be giving a ton of stuff out.
Yeah.
So come on out and join us.
Yeah, we're hoping for a good turnout and come hang with us. It should be a lot of fun.
It sounds like you should, too. Like there's a trivia question, but we're going to be doing other trivia, right, for
Correct.
other people.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Everybody who comes ought to brush up on their TDC trivia. And one way to do that really quickly might be to just go to DetroitCast.com and peruse some things.
Yeah,
I think you'll
poke around the website.
You'll be reminded of some things if you look and listen to samples and interviews and check out pictures and so forth. I think some things will jog in your memory.
Yeah. So again, it's 22 and Hayes in Shelby, Hamlin Pub, 5 o'clock start time in with us. So come on out and have some fun.
Now, the airing of my grievance.
Yes.
I've mentioned this issue before, but I want it on record as a formal grievance. It's the bus stop scene. Okay, let me briefly describe this. There's about 20 kids, mostly first to third grade. They're running around like absolute animals, throwing balls, booking everywhere.
Sure.
This is all while a group of hens stand over the side clucking and clutching their morning coffee, standing there in their jogging pants, in their yoga/jogging pants. The problem is they have zero oversight over these kids.
I'll let you continue because we were clucking.
Zero oversight, man. I'm pulling up, and I just want a space to leave my little sweet pie off. And these kids are standing right in front of my car. Who doesn't go, hey, even if it's not your kid, who doesn't go, hey, buddy, out of the way, out of the way? Like, do I need to send a message? Clip one on the wing?
Yes. Well, I don't know why you guys are there in the first place, dude. We never had anyone hovering over us. It was like, Jay, get your ass to the bus stop. You're going to be late. And then you and Dust and Dave Kennedy would sit there and kick rocks or whatever for an hour. There was no parent. And the kid that did have the parent there was a weirdo.
Yeah, were there first and second grade girls standing there? There weren't, were there?
No.
No, they all got driven to school.
Oh, they did?
Dude, I'm not leaving my sweet pie 2 miles from my house.
You're a monster if you do now, but our parents were just like, whatever, get out of here, beat it. And if your kid got stolen, it was probably something he deserved. You know, he wasn't able to take care of himself and, you know, took care of itself.
Yeah.
No, I know. It's a weird thing. I don't. I'll give you a bona fide grievance because I know parents deal with this issue and hate it. People are probably going, yes, amen. Finally, someone said it. It's
brutal.
I don't see it. I'm never in a neighborhood at that hour, and so I just don't have to deal with it.
You can't even use this exit/entrance to my sub during this hour and a half during the day while these buses are coming because it is a shit show of kids running all over the place. Absurd. Somebody, a neighbor who obviously doesn't have a kid, put up a sign. Please do not climb on the trees because these asshole little kids are climbing up the trees, breaking off branches. This is like landscaping in our neighborhood, like the islands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People that spent actual money to do this. They're not just like big overgrown weeds.
Well, it's the neighborhood that spent the money to do it. It's not their house.
And they're turning into Michael Brown memorial trees, essentially.
Essentially.
Wow, that's terrible. So
it's absurd.
When did this start where kids would be this out of control at the bus stop with all those parents around? Why wouldn't the parents go, hey, knuckleheads, knock it off?
That's the thing. That's the thing. The reality is
you're not allowed to tell your kid to knock it off anymore?
Remember your mom situation? No, you don't say bad girl. Like, the parents are obviously there all the time, but on the same hand, no parent, like Jay says, the idea of going like, whoa, get out of the way. You can't tell another kid what to do, and you can barely tell your own kid what to do, because if you do, you're fucking... Whoa.
If it's not your kid and you're directing them, don't be surprised if they turn around and go, you're not my mom, you're not my dad, you know? But the ones that kill me are the moms. I know that one belongs to you. You're standing right there. Tell the kid to get the fuck out of my way!
Because who are you to say something? Who are you to say anything?
Dude,
that's
it is unreal to me.
Why can't you just lay on the horn? Get up on his ass and just fucking lay on the horn.
In the neighborhood.
I'm just about there, Mike.
Seriously,
I'm just about there. I'm airing it as a grievance at this point.
Okay.
But I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen the next day.
Let's play this out. The kid there, I'm not suggesting you clip a wing right away. Like we're a few months away from that. But if you get right on his ass and he's just standing there being like, if you just lay on the fucking horn, okay, all these moms around, they start talking.
What a
Jay's a
dick.
weirdo.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. You're right.
Almost like, what do you give a shit?
You're right, man.
Your wife could beat all those fat women up, and you could beat all their husbands up. So who gives a shit?
Wearing their stupid yoga pants, they don't even
cares?
work out. Drinking
And
their
then
high-fat coffees.
when the kid finally moves and you lay off the horn, your window's down, and you drive out and go, "You all look ridiculous trying to hide your fat asses in your yoga pants."
It's the worst way to hide a fat ass.
It's terrible. And then you just continue on your way. You don't care what
How about
they think.
this? How about E comes by and sends a message some morning?
I'd
Similar to
fucking
that.
love to.
But
He'd just mow them all down.
he actually clips a wing or two. How about
Yeah.
that?
I don't know if I can do that, but I have no problem driving and yelling out the window, absolutely, like saying what you want to say.
Yeah.
Because I'll just be a person there. I'll just be, who was this weirdo that drove through the neighborhood that
He
morning?
tears in,
I mean,
his
honestly-
dad's car.
Honestly, he would probably flub his lines and hit a kid for real. Like, if I did it for you, though, I would have no problem pulling up and just rolling my window down and go, "Ladies, what are we doing? Why are these kids acting? You know this is a road, right? Why are you allowing them to all act like little fucking assholes out here?"
There are literally people who, I guess, haven't learned and are still using this as an exit to go to work, and they are like coming through, and it's taking them a minute to get through this pile of stupid
That is
kids.
insane,
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
And they're all patient. They're all like, you know.
I
but
would want to fucking
but
murder.
dude,
honestly,
we're only a couple weeks into the school year. If this continues, there are going to be people like, "Hey, get the kid off," you know.
Yeah. Gross. You don't want to do that.
Off the road.
Seems like an odd request.
Wow, that's an extreme measure, man.
The road.
Hey, get your kid off. Ooh, settle down, weirdo. How is this any different, though, to, when you were younger, like riding a little bike? I'm not talking like helmeted guy, in full dress.
It's no
Iron Man.
different. And I can.
Bicycle just pedaling slowly down the road, and you're stuck behind him with your car, and you want to kill him.
Look, man, if I'm being specific, these same kids, and I know them by face, I know them by back of the head, actually,
Yeah.
because they are the same fucking kids in my neighborhood who do that. And you can go right up to them, and it's like, get the fuck off, man.
Yeah. What would it be
I
acceptable?
don't understand it. Who's teaching these children?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. But obviously, they're not taught to respect other authority besides their parents. We're
Because
seeing that-
honestly, they look
It's
at you
that.
like, fuck off.
Well,
I'm in the road. I'm
it's-
on my bike.
like if you would have done that when we were a kid, it would not have been out of line for another parent to paddle your
course
ass.
not. It takes a village, as we know.
Scream at you, grab you by the fucking arm, and march you down to your house and pound on your door and tell your mom what a prick you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, and your mom would have just been like, "Thank you for paddling his bare ass. I appreciate that. It does take a village."
Yeah.
Now you wouldn't dream of that. Oh shit! What was I gonna say?
Bona fide?
It's totally bona fide. Would it be acceptable? I'm not saying like an actual gun, like a 22 or 38, anything like that. But would it be acceptable to grab like a pellet gun or a paintball gun, and when you do that and you fucking get up next to him, just like don't even look out the window, just boom, boom, and just light him up a couple times. I'm gonna do it every time, boys, until you get the fuck out of the road.
Pavlov had something there.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't do that?
I would not.
Consider it. Just cover your license plate.
So what's going on today, Mike?
Oh, there's a lot going on. I think I'm finally with you on the race shit, the ESPN stuff.
What about it?
This well, I don't know if you heard the story about.
Just sick and tired of it.
Yeah, because I don't see a way out is my problem, I guess. And so it's like, okay, we can just continue to crack this egg, but what is the point?
Thank God. Oh, Lord God Jesus, thank you. Mike has realized it. 3 years later, yes.
No, it's
Yes, we're done trying to solve the race issues in America.
I'm not trying.
Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, Lord! Lord, Jesus! Oh, Lord! Oh, Jesus!
Thank you, God. Thank you. I've been praying for this moment.
Here's the thing.
Thank you, God.
I am not trying to solve the race issues. That's not my point. My point is they're not solvable problems, so what are we doing? Like, this shit exists. It always has. It always will. That's it.
Oh, Lord! Lord, Jesus! Oh, Lord! Oh, Jesus!
I'm so serious to hear you say that, and I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah.
I am so happy to hear that come out of your mouth, Mike.
Well, I say that before a stack of stories that include that type of shit. I just don't. I'm trying to find a different angle, and I don't know if one exists. The story that came out yesterday was Linda Cohn. You know Linda Cohn.
Yeah, ESPN.
ESPN SportsCenter anchor for 25 years, one of the most well-respected and credentialed women in sports media at a time when women
She was a woman in sports before women were in sports.
Yes, exactly. And she was suspended from ESPN for voicing her opinion. And I guess this happened on a talk show months ago, like in April. And she was suspended for a week or something by John Skipper. I think his name is the president of ESPN. He was furious with her, called her up, and don't you even come to work this week. And this and that. And basically what she said was, I don't know how big a percentage, but if anyone wants to ignore the fact they're blind, talking about politics is playing a part in what programming at ESPN is doing. We've lost ratings. We've lost subscribers. Staffing has been cut. And if you ignore that fact, you're blind or stupid.
They're owned by Disney, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt that the old school viewers were put in a corner and not appreciated all these other changes, and they forgot their core. You can never forget your core and be grateful for you have to be grateful for your core group. And so she gets suspended for that. And Linda Cohn is the subject of one of the greatest signs ever in the history of game day when someone put up held up a sign that said, "I want to bone Linda Cohn," BOHNCOHN. And you don't want to bone Linda Cohn, but it was so funny. all day behind Herb Street. What a bone Linda Cohn. Anyway, and so apparently some people at ESPN are furious about this Jamel idiot. And
Jamel
Hill, yeah. They're accusing the network of having this double standard, which we all know about. But ESPN personality, number one. If Jamel Hill can say that and Linda can't say what she said, what kind of standard actually exists here? There isn't one. There's a double standard. If you say things the company agrees with, you don't get punished. If you say things the company disagrees with, you do get punished, maybe even fired. Another prominent employee stated, if I said Obama got elected because he was black, there's no way I'd be fired. But she can call him a white nationalist or whatever. And so it sounds like they have a secret club of like right-wing thinking people at ESPN that are like, we pretend to be left-wing. There's a group here.
Keep your job.
Yes, we don't want to lose our job. We want to keep our job, and so we just go out of our way to pretend. Yep, we're on your team. Just pathetic, man. Pathetic. And then,
dude, who does Jamel Hill look like? It's Oprah, right?
Totally. Yep, I see it now.
Oprah and a Susian character mix.
No, it's you know what? Looking from the side, if you said who is that? Because looking from the side angle, it's Oprah. If you said who is this, and you just flash that really quick, I would not have said Jamel Hill.
She almost looks like a mix between Oprah and like.
That's a bad example.
What Susian character? It's not Pop from Hop on Pop. It's
What the hell is Hop on Pop?
No, just hold on for a second. It's is it the guy who's eating the green eggs? Who Sam I Am is trying to convince to eat green eggs and ham? It might be him, or it might be the Grinch. It's a mix. It's Oprah plus a Susian character.
Okay, I'll give you the Susian character. I don't know anyone in Green Eggs and Ham. I don't know what the characters look like. Is there a blue guy?
There's little Sam I Am, and then there's the guy who's being convinced to eat green eggs and ham. Yeah, God, she's Oprah, isn't she?
It's Oprah-esque, yeah. Yep.
E, can you pull up a Susian character, please? My God, man.
Dr. Seuss character, go. Bing it, E, come on.
Go on, I'll find it. I know.
It's like I was literally looking for the her picture.
Go on, Mike.
Well, did you see the assholes at Fenway Park that got thrown out last night?
Yeah, some completely racist sign over the left field wall.
Well, and this is where I finally came to the conclusion that this is so pointless and dumb. This was the story.
This warms my heart, Mike.
I'm sorry.
This totally warms my heart that you have reached this.
Yeah.
No more Twitter rants fighting with racist
no, I'm gonna
guys.
Because I like poking the bear a little bit.
Because,
That's
dude,
fun too.
This is such a huge moment for you to, yes, like, I think it's the Grinch. Is it simply the Grinch?
Like, here?
That's the cat. Maybe it's the cat. The cat in the hat.
In the hat?
It's either the cat in the hat, the Sam I Am guy, or the Grinch.
All right, it's probably a combination.
Yeah.
There's something Susie in there. There's some Susian features in there.
Combo thereof.
You've got, of course, you would never have three black guys or black women standing up at a baseball game in Fenway Park and rolling down a giant "racism is as American as baseball" sign, which is what these assholes did. They rolled this huge thing out. Three of the whitest Bostonians you can find, like, "We'll show how inclusive we are. Racism is as American as baseball." And so people, boo! Like, and to these people, I just want to go, okay, and? Like, do you have a solution to this? What is this? Is this just to shame people? What are we doing? Trying to show how awesome we are, that we're not like that? What, that you can recognize it? Like, what is the answer to this? Because what this is doing is instigating and making people go, fuck, man, shit. Why? What is the point? You could have on that sign, I wrote down a few things. Hate is as American as baseball. Laziness is as American as baseball. Obesity is as American as baseball. Murder is as American as baseball. Drug abuse is as American as baseball. So is fucking racism. All of it. You can just... So what? What's your point? What are you going to eradicate racism worldwide? Stop it. You're not. You don't have a solution. You're just making wild fucking claims. Moron white people.
Mike, this is all about creating a dialogue. You know, we can't solve anything
no, it's
until
not.
we start a dialogue.
It's very accusatory and finger-pointing is what it is. It's, I'm better than you. It's, I'm morally superior to you. It's not starting a dialogue. If it was starting a dialogue, I'm right there. Let's have the discussion. It's not. And that's why I finally got to the point last night where it's like, fuck these people.
Oh, Lord! Lord, jeez! Oh, Lord! Oh, jeez!
They also, last night, attacked Francis Scott Key's statue.
Yeah.
And spray paint it with racist, what are these graffiti? Racist anthem. And I just looked and I went, yeah, okay.
Star Spangled
Great.
Banner.
You're taking a guy who died in 1841 and holding him to today's standards. Wonderful. Perfect. That's going to get you really far. So keep doing that. Back to the flood. Or not, well, I guess sort of the flood. You see the 8 old folks died?
Yeah, in Florida.
Old folks home. Oh, man.
Power went. No help arrived.
Air conditioning went. And so you've got people. Now, the thing that sucks is there was a 99-year-old involved that died. And it was like, I would have liked to have seen them get a shot at trying to make it to 100. You know, that would have been cool. But I heard there was a 71-year-old in the old folks' home. Does that seem a little young?
To be dying of, like...
heat exhaustion?
Who knows what they have?
Yeah, oh, you just...
Who knows what they have?
Really.
They could need
70?
some
My
sort of
parents
machine.
are 70. They golf every day. Like, I just... Like, being in an old folks' home, I think of... Like, I guess if you're saying, like, yeah, they've got X affliction.
A malady.
Yeah. I'm just
Or
thinking
two.
old. You don't belong there. It's 71. But apparently there was a fully functioning, fully air-conditioning, beautiful, giant hospital directly across the street that they could have just sauntered over to.
Oh, man.
Gone in there, but nope. They're looking into this. This is unbelievable. We will not stand for this. We will find out how these people died. Unfathomable, someone said.
A country like ours.
Yeah, this would happen. Memorial Regional, right across the street. So yeah, they're looking into this though. You would think that someone would have said something though. You know, you got 8 people die. You wouldn't go, wow, 2 of them just dropped dead. What's going on around here? What's the problem here?
Yeah, I don't know the circumstances.
Yeah, I basically
imagine
just told
it's
you
hot.
it's really hot there and the air went out.
Yeah, well, I don't know why there wouldn't have been people who evacuated them,
Which is
or
why we're having the investigation,
or why people from the hospital across the street would not have known that and gone across the street and got them. I don't know.
No one called them. They're an old folks home.
Yeah.
Separate entities, separate businesses.
No idea. That's awful.
I'm sure you saw the other night we had all these celebrities did their big fundraiser for hurricane victims.
They do a telethon or something?
Yeah. And it basically, for a lot of them, it was just about raising money. And I think they raised, tens of millions of dollars, which is good. Good for them. But there were a lot of them, too, that couldn't help but, like, bring up climate change and this and that. And a lot of people were kind of offended, like, go fuck yourself, man. This is not the time to be bringing this up. And it got me to thinking about the whole climate change thing. And I just part of me just wants to go, like, okay, stop shaming me about that. Like, what do you want from me? I got here in 1972. I didn't ask to be here. I did a little bit of school until I got bored with that. I got a job. I live at my house. I don't have kids. I don't fly around the world. You gave me an orange basket and I put recyclables in. Like, what the fuck do you want from me? What am I supposed to do? Yes, because I'm tired of feeling like I'm not a denier, but I don't know. What am I supposed to do to fix the problem? Seems to me that all you people that are shaming me and climate change, you're the ones flying all over the world and have 14 homes.
I don't know that the push is for like the individual as much. I know it is like, oh, recycle, be aware of that, be aware of what the Earth's needs are and all that. But I think it's a broader policy issue. Like, hey, we want to shut down certain industries, change certain industries so that it has a real impact.
Yeah, they think they want they want people to. I mean, I think if the people that are doing it for the right reasons want people to band together and go to their government, because I think the belief, of course, is that the people like Big Oil and some of these companies don't give a fuck that oil is bad for the environment, and they're just going to keep doing what's best for them because it makes them money, and they've got the people in Washington, they're just going by it because they're just going along to try to keep the money coming for them. So yeah, they want what Jay said. They want people to call their senator and be like, you know what?
Oh, I'm not going to do that.
I know, but I'm saying that's what they want.
Happen.
But okay, you're not, but that's what they want. You ask what they want.
Their voice is way more powerful than ours.
You did ask what you wanted, but you know what the Lorax wants you to do.
What does the Lorax want you to do?
It wants you to stop cutting down the trees, Mike.
Oh, I'm cool with that. We don't need to cut down trees. Although we wouldn't have nearly the forest fire problem we do on the West Coast if we cut down all the forests.
The argument would be is that's because of the global warming and because of what's happening.
I understand that, Eddie.
Okay.
Yeah. Being facetious.
A
lot of people were blowing each other, too, because of the enormous money they gave. I believe it was Chris Paul pledged $20,000. I don't know how many hundreds of millions he's signed for. Michael Dell and his wife, Susan, of course. Susan and my equal.
Of Dell Computers.
Yeah, Dell Computers.
She created it equally with
yeah.
I mean,
so the two of them decided, as a group, as equals, we are going to donate $10 million. We'll match up to $10 million for donations. I was like, wow, that's very commendable of Susan and even her partner, Michael Dell, to do that, until I read that he's worth $23 billion. It's like, okay, well, $10 million doesn't sound all that. I mean,
that's a pretty good chunk, dude, to give away to a cause.
He could give $100 million away.
He could give $500 million away.
Yeah, he could. But what's wrong with $10 million? Honestly, you have a problem with $10 million?
No, I don't. But I don't think it's worth the spread out. If you gave $10,000, I would go, holy shit, that's a real.
Obviously, relatively speaking, that'd be a bigger chunk of change for me than them. But come on, man. I mean,
how about Apple?
You know
promised $5 million.
Hold on. You know how many freaking causes there are?
Yeah, this is a big one though. National.
Okay. No, we can agree to disagree on that one.
Disagree to agree on this one.
I think $10 million is pretty commendable.
Yeah, it is. I'm just fucking around. But $23 billion. I don't know what the percentage breakdown is. Apple promised to give $5 million too. They're only worth $624 billion. So get that cleaned up quickly. Let's take a quick break, Jay.
Yeah.
I've got an update on Aaron Carter. If you want to hear it.
Aaron Carter. Oh yeah, right. Is he dead yet?
No, but you are so right. It's coming. It's coming soon for him. Did you see the school shooting at in Washington yesterday too?
Spokane, was it?
Yeah. Fuck, man. I'll show you the video there, and then a clown update too.
Okay.
Some clowns. Boy, this it thing. You might be right, dude. We might be on the verge of a war here.
Good versus evil.
Doesn't I'm not talking about the World Clown Association. There's another clown group in New York. And they are not happy with how they're being treated. And it might be go time soon. We'll discuss that and more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hi, Michael Kowalski here, fourth generation of the Kowalski meat dynasty. But you can just call me the Sausage King of Detroit. And you know what, my friends? It's time. Time to roll out the grill, crack open the Jack's potato salad, sizzle up some sausages, pass out the pierogies, ice those beers, and unfold those chairs. Because grilling season is here, and it's time. Time to eat like a king. I'm Michael Kowalski, and I approve my message.
Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
I don't know what the Detroit Cast is.
Yeah, no one does. Don't worry about it. That said, welcome back to the Detroit Cast, powered by our friends at dealsinthed.com with Mike and Jay.
Speaking of deals in the D, Zott Ford needs your trade-in. The hottest sales staff in Oakland County has sold so many pre-owned vehicles, they must restock the lot. If you own an incredibly nice vehicle and want more cash than you think it's worth, take it to Zott Ford in Holly now. Also, check out a new 17 Ford F-150 four-wheel drive, leasing for as low as $186 a month, only at Zott Ford.
We've got some more stories. We've got some great email. We do have E's history. What would you rather do first?
What do we do? E's history, for sure.
You want to do E's history?
Because what I don't want to happen is we get so far along that we go, oh, shit. No,
Well-
maybe we do want that to happen, because that would mean a day that he studied.
Oh, it
that's
didn't get
totally wasted.
School was canceled.
Yeah. Snow day.
It's funny, like, you're right. Like, my thought would be, in one way, I'd be like, well, okay, whatever.
Why don't I do one story?
Okay.
And as long as we don't drag it out for 30 minutes, which we've been known to do, E, because you might get an excuse for the day. I mean, could happen.
I'd almost rather, well, go ahead. Do your story.
I mentioned Aaron Carter just for the
Yeah.
break, and you had to rack your brain like, Aaron Carter. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, the guy that came out the other day and said he was bi all of a sudden. And
Yeah.
Cry
Looks-
for help. Looks
Clear.
methed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good news for him. He went on the Doctor's TV show.
Doctor.
This morning. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Isn't it Travis Stork?
I don't know who the
The
names
guy,
are,
wasn't he a
but
bachelor at
Yes.
one point?
Yeah. And does not
Look
wanna,
at him, man.
Yeah.
I think that's from the show.
Yeah.
I believe.
Doctor's exclusive 2-part thing. He went on there and was talking about how he is 6 foot tall, 115 pounds. Yeah. He was getting tested for AIDS on the show. And think about that for a second. You're going to go on a reality show to get tested for AIDS because you've been so promiscuous with guys and girls, just butt fucking dudes left and right, banging chicks, no protection. And he feels bad for the health of those people.
Ah, that's why.
You know what I mean? It's not about me. I mean, if I have the HIV, I didn't give him those AIDS, whatever, that's fine. I'm just worried about the randoms all over the country that I banged. I feel bad for them.
Great
so
point.
I need to get tested. You'll be happy.
Who's got AIDS?
I didn't give him those AIDS. Lawrence! And so he found out that he's not positive. He's positive that he's not positive for the HIV.
They're positive.
They're positive. But he's like, he's talking about how, I go, the weight is the problem. I thought I had AIDS because I'm so skinny. I'm still so skinny, and that's the biggest one for me. He's still doing the frequent cosmetic surgery. And that's why he needs the painkillers that he illegally buys on the streets when he can't get them from his doctors.
And when he had those AIDS, I went to my synagogue and I prayed for him.
He's taking Restylane, Voluma, Rejuviderm. I get all three, and I'm going to continue doing it. It makes me smile in the mirror.
I think he should be ashamed of himself. I think he should go into the background.
That quote right there alone should have them go, okay, you know what? Cut the cameras, guys.
T.O.
Let's just get this guy to a hospital somewhere.
I know. How
I
can
mean,
you
like,
sit there?
what are we doing, folks?
I
Honestly.
take the pills because it helps me smile into the mirror. Like, you're
He'll
right.
be dead by December.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's not good. So he gets all three of these. I see a pretty good looking guy. I'm just skinny and I just want to get better. He spoke about the pills. I guess he's taking Xanax, Oxys, all those. I don't mix medications. Bullshit. If you're getting Xannies and Oxys, you're mixing medications. I do it to release stress or pain or angst.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah, that's why most people would do that stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this because I understand, like, he's going on this show. They're paying him to be on there. He's probably going, look, for $50,000, I'll go spill my guts, take an AIDS test, and then, but I'm gonna need it in cash at the end of the episode.
Right.
So I go on the streets and buy whatever.
Yeah, this guy's the classic example of a child star who should have just gone, okay, I had my thing when I was 14 to 18 years old. Now I'm just going to go sell insurance or do whatever, just have an honest job. And unfortunately, these guys have this notion that they're real stars and that thing's going to continue. It's
Why
so
wouldn't
rare.
they?
It's so rare, though, when you look at the history of guys like that who aren't real artists. They're not writing their own songs. They're not really.
Yeah, this like bubblegummy.
Yeah.
You know, playing to the sweet pies of the world.
How can you be so? You see the industry just filtering through these guys.
Well, you can't blame them though. Like, imagine if you all of a sudden just took Sweet Pie at 8 or 9 years old, whatever she is, and you took her and gave her a fortune, and then adults had to treat her as an equal.
I know.
And then you parade her around the country to adoring, screaming fans, sold out everything. You're in business meetings at 9 years old. You're the king of an empire. Like, there's no way a developing brain.
Even when that wanes, some asshole is going to jump on as an agent. Go, I got you, man. I got you. Next step is this. We're doing this.
This is what we do. We're going to refire it all up. Like, how could that developing brain not think that that's normal? And so we keep doing this and going, but what a fucking piece of shit. It's like, yeah, he is. He is a piece of shit. But boy, is that really kind of not his fault. Like, how you take an 11-year-old and tour him around the world, give him millions of dollars, no responsibilities, no guidance, and then spit him out at 19 and go, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you? Let's just get a normal job.
I know.
He can't. Aaron Carter cannot fucking sell used cars.
Well, he can now, but it would have been hard It would have been hard at the beginning, and then it's like that's when it becomes hard.
Arnold did it.
Arnold did it, and he went fucking out of his mind because people like us kept calling him. Do not call here again. I am at work.
Of course, Arnold from Different Strokes.
Yeah. What you talking about, Willis? Dudley's best friend.
You know, that's the thing, though. That, like, you look at that guy, and in hindsight, you do say that, though. Like, dude, you should have just moved on from that. You should have just had that as a great memory. Like, oh, man, that time in my life, you know, when I toured the world and I did that. But now got a wife and kids, and I'm just a normal guy, engineer at Ford or something.
Well, I think, you know, you're lucky, Jay, because ego doesn't mean anything to you. Like, you're not impressed with people. You're not looking for acceptance or worship from anybody. You're not giving it to anybody the same way. You care about your family, your friends, your loved ones. I'm not saying you don't have a heart. It's smaller than most, but you have one. But you don't get that, like, oh my God, look who it is. You've never been like that. But for a lot of people, especially people that reach that kind of level of success where you're walking down the street and everybody's telling you how amazing you are and wonderful you are and how you've saved their life, a song you wrote touched me. Like, to turn that off and then be like, now you're going to go sell used cars at the Mazda dealership? Like, no, it doesn't work like that. And those people look at themselves as less than. They don't see themselves as human almost anymore. It's like, oh, I'm one of those people. I'm one of the normal losers.
Has every child star then flamed out? Every single one? There must be some who...
No, there are.
There definitely are, but they're very strong people. They're very confident in themselves. Most entertainers are fucking soft, weak people that don't have the confidence in themselves and really need that. I feel good from everybody around them telling them how wonderful they are. Who was the kid that was on the Tim Allen show?
Oh yeah, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Taylor Thomas.
He went up to Harvard, I think, in the end, or maybe not Harvard, but a very good college.
This is so phony and bullshitty, and you know he's in Teen Bop magazine and he's like, fuck all this, and shut it down, and just went to school, and I don't know what he's doing now, but. That was a kid that like had enough of a head on his shoulders and parental guidance backing him, whereas these fucking pop stars,
dude.
You know, like
and he had his brother too. You know,
I was right. Harvard. He went to Harvard in the end.
Yeah. Natalie, what's her name, did that too? The chick from Star Wars.
Yeah, no, they're out there
Portman.
for sure. And it's funny when you mentioned when Jay said, "Do any of them do good?"
Princeton.
She was who I thought of.
There you go. And I'm not saying you need to go to Princeton or Yale to make some of yourself. I'm sure there are plenty that just bowed out gracefully too. But yeah, I understand how that happens. And think about it too. If it's like, oh, my kid can make it huge, I'll just send him with this fat weirdo millionaire and he'll take care of him.
Yeah, after seeing this happen over and over and over to these kids, to want to get your kid into that industry is pretty nuts.
I always think it's so weird though, because like you do need child actors though, and like if you're gonna do TV shows or if you're gonna do movies,
fidgets
right?
out there,
just
dress up a fidget,
right? I guess
he wants to make it illegal to hire children actors.
No, I don't. That's not what I'm saying. But it's just
that's why they hire twinsy.
Yeah,
twins get hired.
Right.
So they can work them.
Yeah. What's it? The Olsen twins for sure.
Yeah.
Isis, is it time for This Day in History with Big E?
I guess.
What do we have today, sir?
We only had to kill another 15 minutes, dude, and we would have lost out.
I know. Well, I kind of, whatever. Okay, so on this date in 1752.
Oh, right in his wheelhouse.
Wow, 1752.
Right.
Are we even a country then?
We are not.
He was happy to have answered that. His eyebrows went up. We were not.
England, and because of England and us being the colonies at the time, America, which wasn't America yet, adopted the Georgian calendar, eliminating 11 days in the year, and so from September 1st to September 13th in 1752.
What?
So they're just, well, what happened most of the rest of the world for a while was going on the Julian calendar.
Yeah, I'm a visual learner. Do we have anything I can
There's
look at?
nothing going to be visual in this. There's no visual.
I like visual aids too.
Well, there's no visual aids. Julius Caesar there was the calendar we had before, the Georgian, which we are all on now, by the way.
We're on the Georgian now, but we used to be on the Julian?
The Julian calendar.
Sure.
From Julius Caesar, which was started in 46 BC, and then officially starting January 1st to blank. But the problem is that the Julian calendar was not as accurate. It depicted the average year of 365 days. How was it? 365 days, 6 hours. But in reality, the actual average year is 365 days, 5 hours, and 49 minutes.
Is that why we have leap year?
Part of it. Well, partially the reason that we went from the Julian to the Georgian was that the Julian was not as accurate. So the Julian just declared that you would have a leap year every 4 days or every 4 years, which in reality it should not exactly just be every 4 years.
Close enough.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
But it wasn't close enough. And so the point is, at one point, they decided in 1582...
By the way, really quick on that February 29th thing, do you trust it? If you had a friend that was born February 29th, would you
trust him?
Yeah. I mean, that just
I
creeps
wish
me
I
out,
would have
dude.
been, dude. It would have been awesome.
I don't want to know.
Dude, it would have taken you how many years to get your license, man? That would have sucked.
Yeah,
You'd still be in 3rd grade at this point.
You wouldn't have your license yet.
It'd be great.
But I just don't try. It seems weird. It seems like black magic year, witchcrafty, to be born on a leap year. I don't know.
So
No
actually, on February 24th, 1582, Pope Gregory the 13th set most of the country away from the Julian to the Gregorian. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry.
Wow. So Pope George switched us from the Gregorian to the Julian
Gregorian.
Gregorian.
Pope Gregory the 13th switched us to the Gregorian calendar, I guess, in February 24th, 1582. But at the time, England was, for one, they thought they were bigger than the Pope. They didn't think that was a big deal. And
Pope George was a little...
Well, and they were only 50 years out of the fact that the England had separated from the Catholic Church and became the Church of England. So they were like, fuck that. We're not switching. We're sticking with the calendar we've been doing.
I'm so confused. Are you confused? Are you following this?
No,
You're paying more attention than I am.
No, for real. I don't think it's that confusing. Okay, here's the deal.
You keep saying like Gregorian, Pope Georgian.
Okay.
George
Julian.
named it the Georgian calendar.
Do we know that it's the Georgian and the Julian? Because if
It's
you're
spelled
butchering
Gregorian.
let me see it.
Okay, so it's either Gregorian or George. It's Gregorian, I guess.
The Gregorian.
Gregorian, fine. But that really should have stopped you from getting what was happening.
Well, I know people are screaming at their fucking iPhones right now. It's the Gregorian, you moron.
Of course they are.
It's not the Gregorian.
Of course they are. So
Tomato,
anyway,
tomato.
The thing is like,
Tomato orange. That's what he did.
So then a bunch of these countries went over to this, but Europe or England, and thus the Americans did not, until eventually got to the point where it was just ridiculous and people were writing like double dates on all their things, because in England it'd be like England.
Dude, imagine that. If part of the world is on a different calendar.
Yeah, that's one of the things we have to sync up, isn't it? We really do.
You do.
Well, it didn't happen, by the way. I mean, I can get to some of it. It didn't happen. Some of these people held on to this longer than you would think. Russia was the last country to officially go away from this and to the Gregorian, and that was like 1920?
What?
1929, I believe. 1923. Britain wasn't the last holdout.
Pope George told everyone to like blow this thing off in like the 1500s, and it took them till 1920 to.
Well, it took 170 years for England to do it, because they were like I said, they were too stubborn. They thought they were bigger than the Pope, and they'd been having a fight with the Catholic Church anyway. So they were like I said, they were kind of like, screw that, we're gonna do our own thing.
Boy, that's an early round of cutting off that nose to spite thy face, right?
Good point.
Yeah.
So they held on for a long time until, like I said, eventually just got ridiculous. People were writing these double dates. There was like business situations were screwed up, and well, here's the thing. I will tell you this: the actual reason they went from that George Pope Gregory went from his name, whatever, dude. The reason he went from that calendar finally from the Julian to make his own calendar was actually not as much even that it was off. But Easter was starting to slip away, and he didn't like that it was getting too far away from where he thought it should be. So he's like, that's it. We're freaking setting a new calendar, so Easter is when I want it to be every year.
So we don't even know that Easter's an actual...
He's like, bunnies are in hibernation by, December. Here we are. We got to keep this in the spring.
We got to get April going again.
So this was kind of funny. So when England did switch over, the deal was that they didn't just skip the 11 days. And by the time when Russia skipped way later, they had to skip 13 days because the time had kept, it's off by 11 minutes, and every year they were losing 11 minutes to the rest of us.
Oh, my gosh.
So so in 1923, the Russia just skipped 13 days.
Wow.
So they just woke up one day, it was September 1st, and they went, oh, by the way, set your clocks ahead.
Well, here's the thing. I did
3,000 hours
ahead.
Now, here's the thing.
So they didn't make sure you turn your clocks back an hour. They had to push theirs forward 14 days.
I do not have a visual, but I did give Jay a little bit of heads up.
What happens if you were born on September 3rd?
You weren't. In 1750, you weren't born there.
You had been.
Yes.
In 1752.
That's my point. Does your birthday not count anymore?
No. In 1752, there was nobody born between September 2nd and September 12th.
Mike was asking about people who had been born, though.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, actually, what's funny about that is
What do you mean?
This is actually a funny fact about that. Some people really embraced it. One of them being one of our founding fathers, George Washington, who took the opportunity to push his birth date back a year.
That son of a bitch.
Because George Washington was actually born February 11th, 1731, technically born February 22nd, 1732, but with the new situation, he pushed his date back to February 11th, 1731, giving him another year.
Son of a bitch. Trying to shave a year? Who would have thunk?
And there were people that were doing that.
I thought he stopped lying once that apple fell on his head.
Well, Franklin had a quote, too, about it, because he was in favor. Because some people were not in favor. There were people, because this is it's not the Middle Ages, but it's old enough that people were like, they're stealing days from us. And they were protesting, and they were mad about it. They're like, they're stealing our days. And actually, because they had to switch over, the New Year has not always been the same, and so England has gone back and forth between a different New Year.
We don't know what the hell's going on in this world with our calendars.
Is it the year of the monkey or what?
So
I don't know.
When they were going to switch over, when England finally said, we're going to switch over to this new calendar. Not only did they skip those 11 days, but they actually the year before the last 3 months of the year before had to go away because they had to move their New Year's from March 25th to January 1st. So there's just a few. But anyway. I know I spit on myself.
He just spit like a huge gob out of his mouth.
But here's the thing, Mike. I don't have any. I told Jay this a little bit ahead of time. I don't have a visual, but I do have something that Jay can. Do
you want me to pronounce something?
Jay can pronounce something.
Render an edict?
Because this was what was handed down to the people of England.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, wow. Well, spread out, everybody.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do about our calendar? It's fucked up and they're stealing days from us. Relax.
Stop stealing days from us!
In and throughout all His Majesty's dominions and countries in Europe, Asia,
hold on, you need music or something.
Africa and America, belonging or subject to the crown of Great Britain, the 2nd day of September in the said year 1752 inclusive, and that the natural day next immediately following the said 2nd day of September shall be called, reckoned, and accounted to be the 14th day of September, omitting for the time only the 11 intermediate nominal days of the common calendar. Dude.
Sounds fair enough. Thank you, sir.
They just sat there and said, okay. Now, coming up at this point, it was September 1st. Now it's going to be September 14th.
That pronouncement said, between this time and this time, we're nixing those days.
Yeah, we're just going to clip those out of the thing.
That's a funny way of saying that.
Yeah, beautiful way, though. I love in said year. It's just awesome. Do you think the calendar makers get too much credit for their brilliance?
How so?
I feel like looking at it as a blank sheet, you go, wow, they came up 365 days and 24 hours in a day. And it's I think I could figure out, though, if we were starting at 1, we're at 1. Today's 1, and we're all here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'd wake up tomorrow and be like, it's dark again. I remember that from yesterday. And then you go through the day and be like, oh, the sun's up there now. Now, I remember that yesterday. And like in a week,
Well,
you'd be like,
know-
okay,
yeah,
there's,
but what do you
there's
mean a week?
24 hours in a
What
day.
do you mean a week?
Dude,
What do you, a month, a week?
no.
What do you mean?
Because,
Mike.
Because
That's insane.
after a few years, you'd be like, oh, yeah, this white shit's coming down again. That happened about the same time last year.
But you're talking about a time when you're able to share information to anybody and anybody at all times. This is a time when people are still in little villages run by some, the church, and they're only, hours away from the big church, and all they
You're
get
talking about a concept that they didn't even know was happening. The rotation of the Earth around the sun, the changing of the seasons.
I feel like I could have figured that out.
The spinning of the Earth. Dude, it's amazing that they figured this out.
I'm not saying I'm like that level where I'm
we're
gonna,
talking
figure
about
out the rotation of the Earth. I get
In
that.
1492, when Columbus sailed the ocean blue, they weren't sure he wasn't going to go off the edge, man. That's the kind of world we're talking about.
You're overthinking the shit out of this, man. I'm not worried at this point. Like, let me get 24 hours in a day established first before I start worrying about like whether we're flat or
Hold
round.
on, you began
or
with the premise
rotation.
of, do the people who make a calendar get too much credit?
Yes.
No! You might have figured out a day in a day,
but then I would have eventually. Maybe it takes me a few years. I'm not putting calendars out and selling them in shops anytime soon. But dude, I think I could figure out like, oh yeah, I
Okay,
remember this.
Galileo.
Now it's cold as shit. Okay, maybe I would
Okay,
have been Galileo.
Copernicus.
Yeah, I could have been Copernicus.
Okay, Kaepernick.
I just wasn't. I just wasn't born in the right time. Otherwise, I would have been Galileo-esque. Because I think I could have at least given him a head start. Like, dude, there's something to this whole like orange thing, yellow thing in the sky, and then all of a sudden it goes dark. It's happening like every day. This is like Groundhog Day.
There were literally cultures who worshipped that yellow thing in the sky.
I'm not
had
saying
no
they
idea
can't.
what was going on.
This is coming from the person who says that if the power went out, you couldn't handle it. You'd be able to
Dude,
put a calendar together?
In context, I'd be able to handle the power going out because we didn't have power back then. Now I'm used to power, so I can't lose power.
Ridiculous.
I'm saying if I started at 1, I could figure out at least the week. I could figure it out a week.
You'd have gotten a day.
No, you would not get a week. You'd be maybe lucky enough after a while to see that the full
You
moon
wouldn't understand
comes.
the concept of a week
Right.
without
Okay,
the concept
all right.
of a year.
All right, I could have gotten as far as a day. I could have figured out the 24-hour cycle.
Here comes the sun again.
I wouldn't have fucked that up by 8 minutes or 11 minutes like those assholes did, and now we're caught eliminating
It's
14
not that they're
days
that.
in a
It's not
month.
that they're not fucking up. It's that it's not perfect. I mean, it's right. Like it's
Correct. The rotation is not perfect 365 day.
No. I would have gotten
It would have
closer than
taken
that,
you years and years and years to figure
which is
that
what
out.
happened.
Yeah.
Not me and Galileos of the world. Me and the
All right.
Galileos of the world. I would have at least figured out 24-hour cycle.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
I do have 3 more things here I thought I might add, just that are kind of Japan replaced its calendar with the Gregorian calendar in January of 1873, but decided not to use the numbered months instead of the English version. But this is even more interesting to me. The Republic of China originally adopted the Gregorian calendar in January of 1912. But it wasn't used in China due to warlords still using different calendars. Finally, in January of 1929, China was like, okay, we're on the calendar with the rest of the world. Fuck
Wait,
these
China's on the Gregorian? I thought they were on the whole year of the monkey thing.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
as far
what
as-
they name the year. What year are we in China? The
I
year
do
of the
not know.
rat?
I do not know.
The dragon? The
Had
monkey?
that.
And by the way, there is a revised Julian calendar that uses more complex rules to determine when to add a leap day, which only errors about 2 seconds per day and is like way more accurate than what we even use. But obviously, we're not gonna all change again.
More
realize-
importantly, we're in the year of the rooster.
Oh, we are.
The cock.
The cock. Excellent. You realize like 2,000 years from now, there's going to be a podcast going on where they're looking at us and laughing their asses off going, these fucking morons had to have a leap year every 4 years because they couldn't figure out the rotation of the Earth. Fucking morons. Because they're going to figure out mathematically exactly how long a day is.
I will say this, if you want, just as a side note, I'll be very brief about it, but just because we've talked about them in the past, on this date also, the first lighthouse located in Little Brewster Island in Boston, the first lighthouse in America, was lit on this
God
date
bless
in
him. God bless him.
1716.
I wonder how many ships like plowed into the coast before they figured out like, we gotta put a light or some shit up here.
The first keeper of the Boston Lighthouse was George Worthylake, who drowned along his wife and daughter when returning to the island in 1718. So he only made it 2 years. during the American Revolution. So
Thank you for your service, George.
Yeah.
anyway,
Good work, Isis.
Nice job, E.
Yeah, I think it was
Interesting, more interesting than I would have thought.
fairly informative.
Yeah.
Hey, got to mention our buddy Douglas.
You got this.
Can you okay. fix this in post?
Sure. I won't, but I could.
Find our best friend Doug, and then we're gonna give him a best friend hug. Doug, Doug, oh, Doug, Dougie, Dougie, Doug, Doug.
Buying or selling a home can be one of the most stressful times of a person's life. Doug Steinert at Century 21 Campbell wants to make the sale of your old home or the purchase of your dream home as stress-free as possible. Call him, 248-765-1781. Let Douglas and the team at Century 21 Campbell make your home purchasing dreams a reality. Call him at 248-765-1781.
Douglas. I wanted to mention these clowns, Jay. I told you about before the break. And then we'll get some email.
Clowns are angry.
Some New York clowns are feeling down since they have been losing jobs because of It, the movie by Stephen King. They're fighting back against the scary clown stigma by staging a rally outside of Union Square Regal Cinema today. So if you're out there in New York City, John Nelson said he and his Clowns in Town business have had several cancellations in the last week. Our hope is to raise enough awareness so when people think of clowns, they won't think of scary murderers, but people who dedicate their lives to bringing joy. Jebly the clown and Mr. Loopy the clown told some local stations that films like this are damaging to our industry. I tried
Of course it is.
I tried to go up to kids and give them a high five and say hello, and they ran away. That's what Mr. Loopy said that.
Of course.
Yeah.
You had Pam yesterday denying that.
Yeah. Oh, Pam. Oh, man. I
Feel
felt
bad, don't you?
Dude, I swear to God, I'm honestly like reading the news, like waiting for something to happen to Pam Moody. I feel so bad because, you know, I honestly, I read a lot of her bio just in prep, just like, yeah, I got a feel for who this woman is. And I didn't finish her bio, though. And
Wish
I
you would've.
got pretty far down the page. I got like 3/4 of the way through it, and then I was like, oh, shit, we got to call her. And so I missed the difficulties and challenges part of her bio. Which declared in February 2009, my husband was diagnosed with a rare and fatal form of cancer and given a life expectancy of less than 6 months. At that time, I packed Sparky away. My time was dedicated to him, and I didn't want to take the chance of being in ER as a clown again. Apparently, she'd go to hospitals and clown for kids.
Right.
I also had temporarily lost my joy. Not being joy-filled affected my ability to clown. Fortunately, his life continued for 3 years. During those years, we stopped fundraising for my school shows because I wasn't performing. As the months and years passed, we decided to disband the nonprofit. Overhead was eating up our profits, and I honestly decided that I had reached a time in my life that I just didn't want to perform at that level. I continued to do school shows when asked, but funding sucks, so it's all like private schools. Over the years, I took up face painting, and that is now what I call my therapy work.
Oh, Pam.
So basically, when I brought up, like, hey, we'd love to talk to you about your husband's puppetry ministry or whatever, like, that hit a nerve.
It's a trigger.
She doesn't do Sparky really anymore. She retired Sparky basically because he died.
Well, and what I think upset her was it was on the heels of the masturbatory clown discussion. And also,
Yeah.
this is what upset her, is she knew that we had read her bio. So she thought we were going there, like, intentionally to needle her.
Yeah, I didn't even
So
think
she's
about
like, oh,
that.
yeah, you guys read my bio, so you know this.
I brought up her clinical depression.
Yeah.
And,
So
you
she's
know.
like, you fucking assholes. Really? You're going to
Dude,
go there?
That's terrible. I didn't even think about that aspect. Why wouldn't she think I read her whole bio? And now I'm going to poke fun of her dead husband. I would never do that to her face. Never. Never. I feel off. I honestly, dude, and it worries me a little bit because clinical depression is not something that's easily curable. She probably clowns and looks to make others feel happy because she can't give that to herself. You know, that's kind of one of the things, you know, tears of a clown, you know, entertainers, I try to give you what I can't give myself, which is happiness.
So fucking weird.
I know it is, dude. Well, you don't understand it. Be glad you don't. But for her, it's like you can be on a hair trigger, and so it's like, oh man, if I killed Sparky the Clown literally, I'm gonna be really bummed.
I'll take partial blame if you want.
Thank you. Thought you'd never offer.
Katie writes in, cast member check-in. Hey guys, it's your token cast member here. Heard you were chatting about the mouse, Mickey Mouse, and thought I'd chime in. Yes, We are all called cast members except for my area, which E actually got right. I'm in Imagineering.
Bam!
So this is our Imagineer listener. As corny as it is, I know we still implement the majority of what Walt Disney himself started, and calling everyone a cast member is supposed to make them feel a part of the show, quote unquote. To this day, all cast members in uniform have to have a certain look, no nail polish, no jewelry, no facial hair, and must adhere to a certain on-stage code. You learn all these things on your first day, which is called traditions, is what your first day is called. And every single cast member and Imagineer from janitor to vice president is required to attend this Traditions Day, which talks about the history of Walt Disney. As a quick side note, Disney killed themselves to make sure...
Tell you all the history?
Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
As a quick side note, Disney killed themselves to make sure guests were okay during Irma. I know people who worked 42 hours straight entertaining and checking on guests. They were provided free bags of food and activities, and all of the hotels had activities and characters going on the entire time. My community was pretty damaged by this storm, so that lady who complained about $2 water needs to get herself a big dose of perspective. I really love working at Disney, and I love Orlando. It's a great area, and although I miss Detroit, Coney Islands, up north, and all the pure Michigan, Orlando makes a pretty good home, and your show gives me the Michigan dose I need. That being said, come visit. Big E is coming and crashing on my couch, actually, but I guess that's a story for another day. Winky face. Oh, he's coming, all right.
Gross.
He's coming on your couch, all right, Katie.
Do they address, the allegations of Walt Disney, anti-Semitism and all that stuff?
I don't know if they do.
Because they say they give a big rundown of the history. They really focused on Walt himself, and
yeah,
I don't know what the deal is. I know there's some debate about that. But it's significant. Still, Space Mountain's the shit. But
Ed writes in Miguel's confidence, dearest Legal, Beagle, and Eagle. I was somewhat taken aback by the amount of confidence in which Mike spoke about babies not being able to be flushed down the toilet. It sounded like someone who was speaking with experience. Yeah. This got me thinking about the recent plumbing issue at Radio for One Studios. I cannot rule out a cloth diaper as the object I, says Ed, pulled out of the pipes. Yeah. Listener Ed was nice enough. Mike was shameless enough to call Listener Ed and ask him to come fix his plumbing issue, and Ed actually did. If so, shame, Miguel. If you are going to flush babies down the toilet, at least remove the diaper. No, wait. Hardline stance here. Don't flush any more babies down the toilet.
But if I was going to...
As always, keep up the great work, Ed.
Yeah. No, there was something in there. He's like, I don't know what this is, dude, like a towel. Did one of you assholes try to flush a towel? I can say with absolute certainty it wasn't me.
Definitely not.
I can say with almost certainty that it wasn't you, Jay. But, I would not put you, like, wiping your ass with a towel or something and then going, oh, shit, and then flushing it. Did you do that?
I don't know. You know what I mean? Sometimes
sitting there going, screw this one-ply toilet paper. I'm grabbing a washcloth.
Wait, he doesn't use toilet paper.
Good point. Great point.
Boy, that kind of gets him off the hook, doesn't it?
That's a good point.
Josh writes in, subject, bunnies. Jay, you have told your baby bunny story before, and I almost emailed in about the topic then, but with you revisiting your horrifying tale in poem number 892, I saw it fitting to email in and express my deepest sympathy for your experience. It's not a grievance, but if it were, I'm sure I'd be labeled a pussy. There was a time that I, too, ran over a nest of bunnies with a lawnmower, and as their body parts were ricocheted in every direction, I had the most awful sinking feeling to the point where I had to sit in silence for about 10 minutes and then proceed to call my mom to see if she could help me properly grieve. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Turn to your mom.
I don't know that
Josh is like at least an older kid at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe even an adult says this happens, and he calls his mom.
If he's a kid, okay, I would talk to my mom. But, if you don't live with your mom anymore, you don't call your mom about that. But, that would be crushing. I don't know how you took it.
It was brutal.
And you're...
I love Bun Buns.
I know
I had a
do.
pet Bun Bun at the time.
I know. You had that big cage in the garage.
Yeah.
Dude, that would... I still... cannot walk 3 feet without making exactly sure where I'm stepping if it's dark outside on my deck.
Because of that toad?
Because of that frog I crushed. And I turned around and I was like, oh, buddy, what do you do? I was walking towards you. Get out of their way. And he didn't. And it fucking haunts me to this day. Dude, if I hit a litter of Bun Buns out in the yard.
It was bad. It was the worst lawn mowing situation you could imagine.
Because frogs are ugly. You can at least be like, well, they're gross looking anyways and kind of creepy. But Bun Buns? No way.
It's cuter than a baby bunny.
Oh, man.
Jason writes in, Biggie's dried semen. Back to that. Gents, listening to the recent show where you revisited the facts of Big E just allowing his seed to be flung wherever reminded me of a story. My good friend growing up, let's call him Charlie, he had an issue with the same very thing. I'd come into his room, gross, and his carpet was all hard. He always blamed it on his dog. So I always wore shoes in the house. A few years later, I was looking for something in his room under his bed, and it looked like it hadn't been cleaned in years. I asked him why his dust ruffle was as hard as a rock, and he replied, "Oh, I just wiped my jizz there." At that moment, I put the pieces together and realized he just sprayed all over the floor and bed. I slept on that shit, luckily in my own sleeping bag. These people live amongst us. Thanks, guys. Goodbye, BUI, Jason. Oh,
that is
like a
so
sleepover.
gross, dude.
You throw your sleeping bag down like near his bed, and
it's so foreign. I'm sorry,
he's
it's just
looking off
foreign.
in the distance.
No, I gotta tell you, I think that's even crazier than me because I honestly, as gross as it is, most of it ends up landing on me. Like the idea that it would be on the floor. I'm just saying, like that's even crazier than me. I think is my point.
It is crazier than you because at least you didn't have friends, and so they weren't coming over to sleep over.
That's a great point.
You know what I mean? Like
I thought he was staring off in the distance because he was remembering. Like, oh yeah, I remember when Chubbs came over and slept over. But no, he didn't.
He didn't.
Have friends.
So.
That's good news. That's great news.
Yeah, this guy had friends, and he's coming all over his floor. Like, you would know, oh, man, I just came there yesterday, and now Jay's laying in it.
Randy writes in, honeybees and mead. Greetings, Jay. In regard to your interest in being a beekeeper, I must tell you about the best thing that can come from honey, and that is the oldest known fermented beverage called mead. Mead is comparable to wine, but it is made with honey instead of grapes, water, and yeast. It can be sweet, semi-sweet, or dry, depending on the style being made. I've been a mead maker. Mead. Also called a mazer for over 15 years.
Dude, I need some mead now.
I usually add flavor spices to mead. Some of the meads I have made over the years are raspberry, cinnamon, mango. Doesn't that sound great?
Mango mead,
pomegranate,
made by him.
and vanilla. My wife loves them, and we definitely consider them to be an aphrodisiac.
Really?
So keep the closet ready in case you decide to buy some. Most people know that it was a drink of choice for the Vikings, but it was also the origin of the term honeymoon, where the couple would drink mead after the marriage to help promote virility and fertility.
Dude, why are we just hearing about mead right now?
There
Why
is
don't we
a
have a
brewery
case of it?
meadery in Ferndale called Bee Nectar.
What?
And you can find their products at a specialty store near you. The Renaissance Festival usually sells it, so go look for it if you go.
I'm not going to the Renaissance. I want mead now. I want a case of mead.
I got the need for mead.
I want mead made for me right now. Got an absolute need for mead. Let's go.
I might do Renaissance Festival. Is that through September?
Well, will you pick me up some mead if you go?
I will
Here
try
to sell it
if I
there.
go.
I don't know how long. I think it goes through September.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm gonna try to get there. Anyway, we'll save the rest for Monday, and hopefully we'll have some really great stories about everybody who came out to Hamlin Pub on Saturday, September 16th, 5 to 8 p.m.
Yes, and don't forget. Don't let us forget. So you can't forget. Don't let us forget. We need to record podcast award acceptance videos. We want you guys to be a part of them. That in no way means we're going to win anything, but just in case we do, they play these, and we'd rather have you guys involved. So don't let us forget about that. And hopefully, as Jay said, we'll see you out there. We've got some great prizes to give away. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come hang with us again. It's 22 and Hayes, Hamlin Pub, Saturday, 5 to 8. For those that can't make it out, have a great rest of the weekend. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.